Welcome back to the Legion training series. In this training, I want to talk about the drawing tools and how we get in and build out an array or multiple arrays with a customer while we're on the iPad. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to select one of the homes here in the area and I'm going to open that up. Again, you'll remember how to get into this from other videos, but if you want to do this, you're going to need to go into the proposal button here in the bottom left or right corner of that box. As I click on proposal, you'll remember that the first thing we need to do is gather consumption. There's an entire video that talks about how to collect that consumption, so I'm not going to spend time there today. But you'll remember that we have the camera scanner or the manual entry and a number of different options to go ahead and collect that actual consumption for that consumer. Okay, so I already have that. Here's the numbers on the side. And now I'm going to go to the drawing box here. And as I click on that, you'll notice that I have two options. I have one option where I can do a simple system. This is designed to be able to move very, very quickly to a proposal. If I've got somebody who's really short on time and I just want to give them a rough idea of what it is and give them a proposal and let them go through and leave that with them or email that to them, I can do that. I can change and adjust any of these here, but really these are the only data points that I have that allow me to go on, okay, at that, or that I need to go on at that point. So I'm going to go ahead now and do an advanced drawing. Okay, you'll notice that as we move in, here's the home that we're working with right here. Here's the individual's name. And you'll notice that I've started with a Google image of that home. Top-down image. This is as far as I can zoom in on that Google image. Okay, and so what I want to do is now switch to a high-res image. If I want to do that, I've actually already purchased a high-res image with a token for this home. So if it's the first time that you're coming in to this and you want to use a high-res image, then you would come in and click purchase down here, and then it would allow you to purchase with one token this image here, this high-res image, which as you can tell is going to be a lot easier to use. You don't have to do the high-res image. You can just use the low-res image. It will not cost you a token if you do that. It does not matter to us and is completely up to you. Okay, so now once I have the home set and centered in the screen, what I want to do is first of all set the grid. Okay, and you'll notice that these are in order of what we need to do with them. And so I'm going to start with the grid, and you'll notice that it gives me a bunch of lines here on this, basically a grid on this home. Now I chose a home that's primarily a south-facing home. It's almost perfectly south, as you can tell, but it's not quite. And this grid is going to help me to tell the system what orientation it has to that sun. So I'm just going to take my two fingers and I can rotate that grid according to the main ridge line of the home. Okay, again, I'm trying to tell the system this is south, this is north, this is east, this is west. Notice that I'm taking this line and lining that up on that main ridge line because that's a good measure. I don't want to line it up here because again, that's not the roof plane that I'm working on. I want to use this south-facing exposure and give that an idea. If I were using a different roof plane, then that's fine. I still want to line that up. I'm trying to tell the system how I want to do it. If I turn it like that, it's going to tell the system that it's facing probably more of a southeast direction. Okay, so that's the grid. I'm going to set that as close to that main ridge line as I can. And once I'm set, all I need to do is click this button, and it's going to then set that grid for me. Okay. The next thing I want to do is use what we call the built-in inclinometer to get the actual pitch of the roof. So as I click on this, you'll notice that it's going to give me a street view of that home. Okay. This one's an easy one because again, that street view is showing me right there where that home is. Now, all I need to do is take the different data points. B is always going to be the corner of the triangle. A, I'm going to put up that ridge line. And C, I'm going to line up straight here to where I know that, you know what, if I go straight there, that is an 8/12 pitch. Those of you who are dealing with this now know that that's a very common pitch or tilt for the roof. And so that's easy on that one. Now, if I go ahead and save that, that's great. But what I want to do is I want to show you that if we don't have a good view of an angle that we can pull that pitch in the front, or there's trees in front of it, you have options. You can come into Street View. You'll notice that I come into street view. I can then start to move myself down the street a little bit. Say I had a better view of that home on this angle here, and I would come in and I would zoom in. Once I click the checkbox, I could come in and I could say, okay, this is actually now the better, I know it's not, so bear with me, but say that was the angle that I needed to pull there. Okay, so depending on the roof plane, that was the angle that I needed to pull, and I could come in and I could say, hey, here's the actual pitch of that roof. Okay, I know that's not the way that we do it, but again, I want to show you that you can move street view if you can't get the right surface to be able to pull that pitch. Finally, the other thing you can do is actually snap an image. And if you're at the home, go out in front, get a good view. Again, this is a different home, but get a good view of this, take the picture, and it will apply the inclinometer to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I already have the correct pitch from this front view here. Okay, all right, next I want to come in and we've created a very simple way for you to lay out the roof plane. I always use this option here because this is going to label the different areas of that roof plane for me. If I want to do that manually, and I'm taking quite a bit of time to be very detailed and want to make sure it's 100% accurate, I can do this way and I can label the edges, ridges, and eaves. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And the difference is on your iPad, you'll notice there's a little red dot here, or red line there that designates that, hey, this is the one that's going to build it for you. Now, this is key in how you build it out your roof plane. You always want to start on your main ridge line and you want to work clockwise on that ridge line. Here's my main ridge line. So I'm going to start here, and all I need to do is push and hold with my finger. You'll notice that it's going to give me a magnifying glass on that corner. Boom, and I release. Now I'm going to, with my finger, go to the next corner with the magnifying glass, and I'm going to get right on the corner. Notice the green line tells me when I'm square according to the grid that I set. Okay, now I'm again going to continue around the shape of that roof where that surface area is that I'm considering putting the panels. And you'll notice that I can move very, very quickly if I would like, or I can take as much time as I would like as well. I'm going to go to that corner, and now once I click on this final dot here to complete the area, notice that nothing happens here until I can connect all of the dots. So once I connect those dots, it then is going to say, okay, Brett, now let's find out, I need to get a shading factor on here, okay? I know that this is completely sunny. I've looked, there's no trees in front of the house. It looks great. So I'm going to say completely sunny, okay? You'll notice that it also has now done a lot of things for me automatically. It has given me my setbacks based upon presets that I have already set up. It says my ridges and my edges and eaves and so forth, which again, I can change and adjust if I need be. But for the sake of time, I want to show you some other functionality here. Now, if for say, these are not right, these setbacks are not correct, okay, and I can check those. Here's the setbacks button right here. If I click on the setbacks and click on this ridge right here, notice that I can change and adjust that manually if I'd like. It's automatically based on my presets, defaulting to a 36-inch setback. Okay, I just changed it to 24. Didn't quite give me enough room to get another row of panels on there. So let's check the actual edge. If I click on the edge and I have the ability to take that down to 24, wow, there I go. And I can now fit another couple of panels on that roof plane. Okay, now sometimes you're going to see this where this shape right here is actually going to extend out beyond the white outline. It's not a mistake. It's actually really incredible what we're doing. We're taking what we call an orthogonal view based upon the pitch of that roof. And so if you see that this green shape extends out beyond, you are actually seeing the actual roof space available rather than just taking a top-down image of a home and trying to guess on that actual surface area. So again, based upon that actual pitch of that roof is going to determine. So you'll know that anything inside of this pink is really the actual roof surface area, and you're able to put panels in there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the setbacks. You'll notice that now I can come in and start clicking on some of these panels and building this array in front of the customer if I would like. I'm going to turn on 8 of those. Notice that in the top right-hand corner, it's building out my production based upon all of the data that I have from consumption, all the panels and inverters that I've already set. I know that if I put 8 panels on Titus's house right here, I'm going to be at a 75% offset right now. So I have options. I can model this for them. Again, I can click on maybe these bottom 2 panels. Let's see what that does. It's probably going to get us close to 100%. So they're a pretty good range. Okay. Now, at this point, I want to talk about a number of the knobs and levers that we have that are completely adjustable. We hide this window over here so we can keep it simple for you, but we need to make you aware that obviously you are able to change and manipulate and adjust all things inside of here based upon what we have on this side. Now, energy projection, for example, as I open that up, you're going to notice how many panels we have, the actual roof tilt, my shading factor that I applied to it, which I can change. I can change and adjust any of these. Maybe I want for this one to model a different type of panel. Let's do that. We're going to take away the Hanwha. I'm going to say, yep, okay, go ahead, load a list for me. And instead of the Hanwha, I'm going to use a Trina 285. Notice that I'm going to then have some different options because the Trinas are different shaped and sized than the ones that I had on there, the Hanwha. So now you'll notice that things have changed here, and I've got to reapply it based on the Trina. And so I can turn these on, and let's see what it does if I turn on 8 Trinas. If I do that, I'm up to 84%, and so you get the idea. I can move and adjust. Now, you'll notice here that we do have the ability, obviously, to figure in obstructions. I want to cover that quickly, okay? I'm going to now close the window out. I'm going to move, I clicked out of the array. Let me come back into the array. And what I want to do now, I keep doing that. Let me come into the obstructions. Say that there were some vents on that roof, okay? I'm going to click on obstructions. You'll notice that there aren't, but we'll say there's one of those white vacuum vents here, okay, or roof vents. I can come in and choose the type of obstruction shape I want to use. I'm going to use the circle, and I'm going to say, you know what? I need to notice how it's already adjusting my available area for the panels based upon that obstruction. So I can readjust that now. I can come in and really fine-tune that in the obstructions. You'll notice that it has one there. It tells me how big it actually is. I can turn that up or down based upon the plus or minus on there, right? I can make that bigger if I want and say it's actually a bigger vent of whatever shape or size. And now, notice that when I come back into the panels, it's going to avoid that area. It's not going to let me do that because I've told that there's an obstruction there, okay? So, all of the knobs and levers that you are used to in any of your desktop platforms, you can do and adjust inside of the Legion platform on the iPad. What I want to demonstrate for you, and hopefully have done so in this video, is that you can do this very, very quickly and be very accurate. A lot of the heavy lifting we are doing on the back end to make it so that you do not have to do that on your end. Okay? Again, all of the changes and the knobs and levers are here that you will need. Now, if I want to do a new array as well, certainly I can come in and do that. And I would click on the panels, I would draw out my roof planes and be able to add additional shapes. They're going to then show up here. So if I'm doing multiple arrays, I can do that. Okay, there's a lot of functionality as well if I want to lay my panels in a different way and I want to click and move and adjust. Notice how it's going to tell me, hey, here's where I can get all my additional panels in if I want to change and move that, but it's very accurate and it's based upon that available roof space in that given area. Okay, so dive in. This is the drawing tool. There are a number of other higher level functionality pieces in here that we simply won't have time in this video to cover, but we wanted to give you at least a high level view of how to get in and to use the drawing tool to create very accurate arrays for your consumers. We do have other videos where we're going to talk about the next steps, which are adders and incentives, and then certainly we get into financing and proposals and above and beyond at that point. But there are specific videos on all of those. We're going to call it good on this video for today. Hope you have a great day and enjoy using the drawing tools. Thanks, and we'll talk to you on the next video.